Hey guys, this is Dinosaur Drawer, and this is part 2 on how to draw the chasmosaurus. So I didn't really go over this part because there's a little bit more detail over there, and I think I kind of made this one, the shape of this one is this horn or spike is a little bit different actually, because it's supposed to be a little bit more like this. And then there's one more spike like this over here. And then there are, well, let's see, 3 small ones. 1, 2, 3. And then, yeah, it attaches to this kind of horn over here, which is supposed to be something like this. Let's make another one over here. And erase what we don't need. So yeah, alright, now we can try and get some detail in it. So here will be his rib cage, kind of. Make this line very dark already. And something similar over here, because there's going to be a lot of muscle and also a lot of wrinkles over here. As well. So we're going to create something like that. And let's make his kind of back muscle and his shoulder a little bit more visible. Yeah, this is just really one big muscle over here. And then maybe you can see 2 or 3 ribs. Let's just do 3. And make this leg go up a little higher. This is a really, this dinosaur is literally built like a tank, like I just said. Really muscular. Alright, so now we're going to get some shadow in the bottom part. A lot of it actually. Let's make a few more lines that go like this. Bit shadow over here as well. And just let some lines go like this. And also just make sure you try and fade the tones in so it really fits the drawing. I may have made it a little bit too dark already because I wasn't really paying too much attention, so you need to pay attention to that. Yeah, my dogs are snoring. I don't know if you can hear it, but they are. Alright, let's get a little bit more detail into this part first before we're going to actually draw in the rest of the drawing, so we don't really smear too much. Alright, and just get a lot of dark lines in there, like this. Do the same thing on this one. This one is supposed to be a little bit lighter on the bottom part, but we're going to make it also a little bit lighter on the top part. Just a little highlight over there. Alright, and now let's make the eye a little darker, and I will take a little piece of paper over here so I don't smear too much. Let's get some very tiny scales in there and stuff. Like this. And some wrinkles around the eye as well. And we of course have to draw on the eye itself. Alright, that's a really good eye. Let's get a little bit more detail into this part as well. Skull kind of goes like this, and then these lines all kind of connect. Well, they don't really connect, but they kind of go towards the same way. And I want this a little bit more like this, because now it really looks dumb. Sorry. This looks 10 times better. That's my opinion, at least. So what we could do right now is get some shadow between it. Well, let's first just put in those really big spikes and stuff. Alright, that looks pretty okay, I believe. And let's get some shadow going in between them. Make these lines really dark. And do the same thing with every single one. This will really create a feeling of depth. We're not going to touch this too much. Now let's just get in some lines and stuff. Get this line a little darker again. This line a little darker as well. And I'm not sure if I did this part right actually. This is supposed to be a little bit more like this, I believe. So I hope I can still adjust it a little bit. Because over here is where his kind of hole in his skull will be, but you can't really see it from over here. So we'll just do it like this, and maybe get something like a certain kind of pattern going on. We'll leave it like this. Well, it really looks stupid. So we're not going to do that. Let's just draw in something like this, and that will be it. Alright, I'm not gonna touch that anymore because I want the drawing to be at least decent. Alright. Put some scales everywhere. And get some lines going on inside of this thing over here. And just kind of put those little strange skulls in there. And the problem with this drawing is that I don't really know how the shadows go, or are supposed to go in this particular dinosaur. So I really have to just guess about where the shadows are supposed to be and stuff. So that's really a shame. So the quality of the video will be a lot lower because of that, because I can't really get the shapes and stuff right over here, and compared to the rest of the drawing this is going to look very stupid, I believe. Maybe let's just erase this a little. And not make those lines too dark. We might still be able to save it. This line has to be dark. And then just put those lines back in. And just kind of put those curls in maybe. And don't put too much of shadow into it, because it might actually be very light. You never know. Well, actually, I've got an idea. And this is probably the last time that I'm going to erase it. So over here it goes something like this. And then it goes something like this. One more over here. What I normally do when I'm drawing a skull of a dinosaur is I kind of search on Google how the skull actually looks, what it actually looks like. And that's actually what I use for the drawing. So that's the hole. And this just has to be about the same tone as the rest of the drawing. And I'll try to create something over here. Something like this maybe. And let's just try and get everything else right. So what I'm actually doing now is I'm still trying to get those kind of shadowy lines in there, and maybe this part is supposed to be a little bit more like this. This still just looks very stupid. Well, let's just leave it like this then. We'll just go over it with a lot of tiny scales, and I hope that we won't be able to see it later on that I erased so many times. It's really a hard drawing to do, in my opinion. And let's do something like the same kind of thing on here, and also over here. So yeah, I kind of messed this part up a little bit, so it might look very strange later on, but yeah, it is how it is. I'm just drawing in a lot of tiny little scales and stuff. Maybe there's supposed to be something like a spike over there. Who knows? You see, that's the thing about horns and spikes and stuff, because they look so strange that you never know if they actually poked out or if it was covered in skin still. So that's really the problem about drawing dinosaurs with horns and spikes. Alright, let's get some detail in the rest of the drawing. A lot of wrinkles over here. And this is just a really big drawing, so it's really hard for me to explain everything that I'm doing, because I do have to be a little bit quicker than normal, because otherwise this video will probably be like 4 parts long again. So, and also let some shadow come from over here as well, something like this. Do the same on his back. And this part is actually the darkest part of the whole dinosaur, because this huge thing is covering it. It's preventing the sun from touching his skin. So it's really something that you might want to pay attention to. I'm just going to adjust this one because I'm not happy with the way it's pointing at. I want this one to be like this, so that it's pointing a little bit more up to this part and it looks a little bit more accurate. Alright. And when you erase too many times, the paper kind of gets destroyed and it gets really hard to get the real tiny details, and yeah, it's really hard to make a nice kind of texture on top of that. So that's why this looks so strange and fake. But if we make the rest of the drawing a little better, then that won't really be such a big problem anymore, because it will not really be too much. I mean, nobody, if the rest of the drawing is great, nobody's going to look at that strange thing on his head anymore. So this part goes kind of like this. Then there's also a lot of shadow over here. And he has a very huge muscle. Something like this. A lot of shadow underneath. Also over here there's going to be a lot of shadow. Very wrinkly lines. A lot of wrinkles over here as well. And try to actually make the lines go as if everything is attached to one thing. So later on we're going over that again. So I'm not really doing too much detail in the rest of the drawing, maybe a few skills here and there, because otherwise again it will be too long. I mean, this is a huge drawing, because this dinosaur really is huge. So get some detail into his toes and foot. A little bit darker over here as well. And then there's a muscle over there. A lot of lines and wrinkles over here. And in between you can just put in these little scales. And this drawing is very large, so it will be hard to create the illusion of detail when you're putting in such tiny half circles. But you could do it anyways, but it will kind of look a little less good as with the how do you call it, the little drawings, the tinier ones. Alright, so there's going to be a whole lot of shadow over here, and also a little bit over here. Behind his leg will be a lot of shadow. And let's do something more with the ribs. Make them at the right tone. So just put in a few skills here and there. You can do it wherever you like. And if you accidentally went over the areas for the ribs, just go over it with your eraser. Alright, and then just go like this for the whole tail. Okay, and now do the same thing over here, but now kind of go from that line and make it a little bit darker, these lines, as you go. Alright, so this video is over 27 minutes now, and I'm afraid that I won't be able to finish this drawing before we hit 33 minutes. So I'm going to stop the video right here, and I'll be making a third part of this. So yeah, if you liked the video, leave a like, comment below what you think about this drawing for what it is about now. And don't forget to subscribe. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.